We're part of the internet movement, one might say. I just think there's a lot of interesting opportunities in this area. The focus at Wikipedia has always been on a fairly traditional understanding of what an encyclopedia should be. Not traditional in every way, obviously, but we always wanted to create an encyclopedia where people could come and learn factual information. And that's been a core focus from the beginning, and it's something that's really meaningful to people. Yeah, well, I mean, the vision statement for Wikipedia is, for all of us to imagine a world in which every single person on the planet is given free access to the sum of all human knowledge. I think having a clear vision is crucially important for all kinds of organizations. It gives a reference point to say, oh, well, what are we trying to accomplish? And let's think about it in that light. I think it's really, really important. Certainly, some aspects of what we see are just contemporary fads that will come and go, and technologies will change, and habits will change, and things like that. But there is something really fundamental going on that has to do with all the things we've been talking about on the internet for many, many years about peer-to-peer communication, people learning from each other, people organizing themselves in various new ways, people finding other people of various interests that would have never been possible before. I mean, it's a pretty fundamental change in how the world communicates with itself, and I think that's really interesting. These days, I think, there's such a possibility to very quickly build a global brand through word of mouth, but you can't do that with a muddled concept, a muddled idea. It has to be something very clear, very straightforward, everyone can understand immediately and talk about immediately. And if you do that, you really are onto something. In shoes, there's a company called Tom's Shoes that has this thing where you buy they have very simple shoes. When you buy the shoes, they give away a pair in Africa, it's not only Africa, but in the developing world. And they've had stunning growth. They're still small. I think so far, I read 600,000 shoes this year or something like that, which is a lot of shoes, but it's still pretty small on the global shoe market. But how did they grow so big so fast in just 4 years' time? And the answer is they have a story. That's a compelling story that I can tell you, as I just did, in one sentence, and you immediately go, oh, I get it. That's an interesting idea. You begin to realize, oh, consumers care about this, and they will talk about this. And you don't imagine that they're going to have to spend $100 million in a marketing campaign to get to be known. They're going to be known because people are talking about it. I think that's really powerful and really interesting. There's this massive word-of-mouth possibility today that is not saturated by any means. But it doesn't come automatically, right? I mean, it's a funny kind of thing. If you pay your money, you can get a commercial on television. It's pretty much as simple as that. And then it's a question of how creative is it. To get word of mouth, there's no one to pay. There's no, it's about having a compelling brand story, having something that people care about. And for some that's possible, for some it's not possible. So. It's important for a lot of business to understand that they already do have a community. There's a community around your products. There's the community of employees, your community of suppliers, partners, and focusing a little bit of attention on thinking about those communities and how they're interacting with each other, not necessarily with you in a top-down broadcast fashion, I think is valuable in many, many contexts. What are your customers saying to each other? Very important to know. And this would apply, to some very, very large businesses, but also to very small businesses. I think it is important to approach it with a critical eye and realize, okay, well, look, my product is a digital SLR camera. Okay, now there's a product with a lot of information involved. People, they need to know how to use it. The more they know, the more lenses they'll buy. All of those pieces fit together where you say, oh, actually, for that, I need a wiki, basically. I want to have my fans writing about the product and explaining the product. I don't really need a Twitter stream, because what are you going to tweet about? I mean, I guess you could do announcements through Twitter, but that's not really a use of Twitter. It's just a distribution outlet. So I think it's, you just have to think about each mode of operation and what it's for, and whether it makes sense for your brand or not. Now things have progressed to the newest stage where every company thinks they need a Twitter and a Facebook, right? 5 years ago, it was everybody needs a blog. Oh, your company needs to blog. And frankly, if the product is, I'll just name a product I love, Pringles potato chips. Love Pringles potato chips. I just have no interest in following them on Twitter. I don't want to read their blog. It just is not important to me. Yeah, so I do think it's possible to go overboard with social media marketing advice. For some brands, it's just, stick to running ads. It's great. It works fine for you, and there's nothing to say about your product except Pringles, potato chips in a can. They stack. It's great. Well, now I'm in fear that someone's going to let me know afterwards that, Pringles has the most popular blog on the internet. People read it every day. Yeah, no, I think that's...